In this episode, I'll be talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, all coins that are completely new, but fundamentally they are strong. And at the same time, why is the crypto market dropping when S&P, Dow Jones, Nasdaq, all of them are making all-time highs? Here, if you look at Indian equities and at the same time the Indian indexes, all of them are moving up as well and making new all-time highs every day. Then why is crypto market dropping? The first and the foremost that you guys need to understand is there is no capital infusion from retail or institutional investors as of now. If you look at the global crypto market cap, it's somewhere down to 2.17 trillion. Back then it was trading around 2.5 to 2.4, and that was the range where crypto was completely fine, and at the same time the drawdowns were not that big. We are currently in a choppy market, and at the same time market is bleeding slowly, and it's not bleeding in a flash crash. Before, or if you look at the crypto market chart or Bitcoin's chart, you guys will notice one thing, that Bitcoin was dropping 4 to 5%, and the following week it was again moving up 4 to 5% as well. So the whole move was quite expansionary and at the same time volatile. Currently, Bitcoin is moving $1,000 on, let's say, $2,000, and it's dropping somewhere around $3,000 to $4,000 slowly. The movement is not volatile, but it's moving choppy. The second big reason behind why the market or just the crypto market is not, moving up is the Fed current rate cut decision. See, the market, I think every market was conditioning this and factor in this, that the Federal Reserve or US Central Bank is going to start cutting rates, and they are going to be there's basically going to be two rate cuts in this year. But after the hawkish commentary what Federal Reserve's chairman gave, he was basically talking about inflation getting back to their target maybe the next year or the following year. This basically triggers a good movement in DXY or the dollar index, and triggers somewhere or next to sluggish movement in the financial markets. However, right after this movement, SPX started moving up, but that was not the same with crypto. Crypto started moving more and more down. That is one thing. The crypto market was again factoring the fact that these or the Federal Reserve is going to start cutting rates maybe from the month of September. That is still expected. Now, if you look at the rate cut bets or the probability, there is still a 25 bps cut probability, and which is 68%. Post this commentary, this was laying somewhere around 90%. And the third reason, Bitcoin, a huge influx. When you talk about Bitcoin spot ETFs, there's going to be or there was basically a lot of influx in Bitcoin spot ETFs, and now if you look at the current market scenario, Bitcoin spot ETFs are simply just been moving out or moving sideways because there is no infusion from these asset managers at all, and at the same time, there's no new capital coming in for these spot ETFs. So if there's going to be no interest for spot ETFs, there's obviously going to be a sluggish price action that we are currently witnessing. Now, if I talk about the technicals of Bitcoin, this is a one-day chart, and if I open this up, you guys will be able to see one thing. So the market has, reacted from the same zone where it previously reacted from, and there are going to be two price action and two things that's going to be necessary. One thing straight as of now, what I see is Bitcoin going back to this zone or maybe breaching this zone, trying to take out some liquidity left, because I do see a huge liquidity left here. But the first scenario is going to be a manipulative scenario where everybody over Twitter, YouTube is talking about 59 to 60,000 is a good range. You guys can simply start accumulating anything you want. The market is not going to do something which everybody is expecting. Let's say market participants ranges from somewhere around 100 to 200. 80% of investors are expecting that the market is going to go here. Market is not going to do that, and the 20% expectation is going to play out. So everybody is expecting this whole zone was going to get a good barrier from the bulls. This did not get a good barrier, rather they were expecting a movement towards the upside, and this did not happen. So I'm expecting a breach of this and maybe another tap to this zone, falling back and making prices plunge more up. Maybe, or it can start to plunge more down if you do not see a reaction from this zone, maybe a small reaction from this zone, or a dead cat bounce and post that we come back to this zone of $52,000. This can be the first possibility, and if I want to draw this path out, this is what I am expecting. From a bullish perspective, I want this to get breached. A lot of people are going to start opening shorts thinking about Bitcoin revisiting 50 to $52,000. However, it's not going to do that. A small bounce, a retest, and then we can expect a good move towards 64 to $65,000. This is the first probability, and I'm going to color it green. The second probability is going to be this. Let's say Bitcoin moves up a little from here, some taking out some more liquidity, and post that you see a good move towards 52 to $53,000. It's going to come around here, a retest of the same zone, which is going to be 56 to $58,000, and post that maybe another tap. Remember, if Bitcoin falls back to $50,000, in my opinion the move is not going to be choppy, and it's going to be highly volatile and at the same time very quick as well, because people are trying to place bids, a lot of bids I would say, and just not bids, somewhere around from somewhere around 54 to somewhere around $56,000. So yes, from a spot perspective, if you are planning to accumulate Bitcoin, this can be a good zone, but make sure that you are accumulating 50% of your smart money allocated for Bitcoin in this range of 56 to $58,000 as well. Do not wait for 50 to $52,000. Like I said, whatever the major or the majority is thinking, the market is not going to do that, and it's going to deceive all of them, and they are going to keep waiting. Maybe this might happen. Now let's talk about Ethereum. See, I am betting big on Ethereum, and I'm going to be very bullish on Ethereum. That's straight up. From an accumulation perspective, there's going to be two zones that I'm currently watching out. The first one being this, the black line that I've marked in, 3,000 to $3,100. Your accumulation can be in this range, or you can simply put a limit order for that. The second one is going to be ranging from $2,800 to $3,000. So these two ranges are something that I'm going to be currently watching out. Ethereum's spot ETF trading approval is going to happen very soon. As of now, it has been delayed by the SEC. Once this news pops up, and let's say Bitcoin has flushed out all of the late longs, the trap longs, liquidated all longs, the next liquidation hunt is going to be all shorts, and there's somewhere around 13 to 14 billion worth of liquidation still pending from the short side. You'll start seeing them happening once Bitcoin moves above 65,000, and the same goes for Ethereum. So once the S1 gets approved, we can easily see Ethereum doing something like this as of now, maybe taking out these zones. Let's say Ethereum takes out $3,000, it moves back up, revisits the same zone, and we might see some choppy action from Ethereum until and unless the S1 news comes up that might make Ethereum mitigate $4,000 again, and maybe way more than enough. So it might even revisit 4,500 or $5,000. That can go way more up than what a lot of people are considering. And at the same time, if I try to take this out back to $2,800, this is going to be very quick as well, just like the way I talked about Bitcoin. You guys might not see an accumulation scenario or a choppy movement once price revisits $2,800, because there's going to be, and there is a lot of pending orders sitting here. The moment it catches all of that, the movement is going to be somewhere around $200 to $300 first, and the movement is going to be very fast as well. See, the movement is going to be very quick. If the movement is not quick, everybody knows that the market can fall down more. So you guys might not get an accumulation scenario. Make sure that you guys are currently keeping a limit order only if you guys are interested in accumulating Ethereum, and yes, consult your financial advisor before doing so as well. Now if I talk about altcoins, and some altcoins that you guys can probably watch out, my first pick is going to be Injective Protocol. Injective protocol is currently trading at a good range, and if you look at Injective protocol's price action, then the only thing that you guys will see is made a new high here, came back down, retraced a little, inducement, took out highs from here, took out liquidity from here, and it came back again. Started consolidating here, gave a hope that yeah, it might revisit $36, but no, it didn't do so. Now let's say if you see Injective hovering around this zone like this, and if it starts to consolidate in a range, I am considering a little lower than my line, because the market might not simply respect my drawn on liquidity, and it might further breach it any day. Market does what it wants to. So yes, you need to stay prepared for that. And let's say if it breaches this level, once it takes out this high, and once it takes out this high as well, I want to see a good retracement back to these zones, and post that you might see an expansionary move towards $52, or let's say even more than that. But what's going to be the accumulation scenario? See, from an accumulation perspective, the only thing that I am expecting is, let me clean this up and show you guys. So yes, from an accumulation perspective, if you guys are interested in accumulating Injective protocol, or if you know the fundamentals, this can be a good zone to accumulate Injective protocol in my opinion. So the range is from $16 or $17 to $20 or $21. This can be a good range. This whole range can be a very conservative entry if you guys are willing to accumulate Injective. I have been accumulating Injective since $36 and $40 as well. I am bullish on this project. You guys can do your own research and probably make a stance or build a bias depending upon what do you exactly come down to. But in my opinion, Injective protocol is bullish, and you guys can watch out this zone for accumulation. You guys need to make sure that your horizon or your holding period is going to range from somewhere around, let's say, 3 months to 6 months, in order for your investments to turn up or yield a return of 30 to 40%. And even if you are making 40% on your whatever allocated capital you have, when it comes to for Injective protocol, I think it's very good. Why? Because 30 to 40% in 6 months is still fine, instead of making 10% a year from a conventional way of investing. That's first. The second one is going to be Solana, because this has some buzz of Solana's ETF coming back as well. So you guys can clearly see my plotted demand zone for Solana. It did react on the same zone recently. Let's say even if it's visiting this, my other point of interest, which it has mitigated and cleared the whole gap which it was having, I think this currently can act as a very good zone if you guys are willing to accumulate Solana. And Solana is something that you guys need to keep your eyes on. Just make sure that you guys are accumulating Solana right from this zone, and you guys can probably have your own zones as well. In my opinion, $128 to $135 can act as a very good range only if you guys are willing to accumulate Solana. Make sure that you guys do your own research before accumulating. Just consult your financial advisor as well. From an investment perspective, Solana is good. Solana is stable in this market scenario where other alts are bleeding more than, let's say, 5%, 10, 20%. Meme coins are down as anything, or like anything, I would say. So yes, you can could probably watch out Solana in that case. And the second thing what I'm going to say is, if you are accumulating Solana, try to understand what Solana currently does and its roadmap, and at the same time understand. Let's say if Solana's ETF comes up, Ethereum is currently trading at 3,000. Bitcoin is way up than 60 or $70,000 too. It has gone up beyond $70,000 as well. Solana is still trading at $136. So if an ETF comes up, it will find a lot of institutional interest. Even institutions are going to have, you know, it's just not going to be about Bitcoin's ETF, but they will have a basic variation of investing either in, let's say, Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. So that variation is going to be something that will give a good institutional interest, and at the same time, Solana is very strong, in my opinion. $136 to $200 is going to be a very cheap bet for Solana when it comes to bidding for Solana. Yes, you can easily see Solana trading somewhere around $400 to $500, maybe in a year or two. From an accumulation perspective, this is it about Solana. And my last crypto that I will be, vouching you guys out for is going to be Popcat. Now, this is a meme coin, and I usually do not indulge much in meme coins, but yeah, meme coins do give you good returns and it's scalable for your portfolio as well. A small allocation, let's say 5 to 10% allocation in meme coins can be very good. If you guys are willing to accumulate Popcat, then this can be a good range, which ranges from 31 cents to somewhere around 37 cents. You guys can probably look out to accumulate Popcat. Why? Because from my last accumulation, Popcat fetched, you guys can clearly see 100% almost. So yes, I will be adding some more size here, and if you guys are interested in adding more size in Popcat, or let's say build a new position in Popcat, you guys can probably watch that out. The current bleeding behind, the crypto market is a little severe, and it has no big reason behind its bleeding because the world markets are currently performing nice. People are pulling out more money, and if you look at the fear and greed index too, it's turning neutral. When back then, if you look at the same thing and the same altcoins 6 to 7 weeks prior, the whole crypto market index was trading at extreme greed or greed, and now it is coming back to neutral. The moment you see fear in the market, you will see a lot of infusion and liquidity coming in, and that's going to be a very good scenario or a favorable scenario towards the bullish side, and at the same time a signal for you to buy. So yes, this is it for today's update, and I'll see you guys in the next video.